Good morning, everyone. Dear students, you have already learned something about Ramana Maharshi in the previous video. How the Ramana Maharshi fed the animals. Now let us continue the lesson. Nitin asked a question to Lucy. Was Ramana Maharshi feeding even birds? For that, Lucy replied to him, that will continue in this video or in this slide. Let us study about the second session of the lesson, love for animals. Love for animals. Here, observe the when the cursor is moving, while you should keep your finger on the line. Okay, here Lucy. Already Nathan asked a question. Even birds, like that. Actually, Ramana Maharshi fed the animals. He asked another one question to her. Even birds. For that, Lucy replied, yes, Ramana Maharshi called the peacocks by making sounds of their cries. Then they would go to him and eat the peanuts, rice, and mangoes from his hands. Nitin, that's interesting, Lucy. Will you please tell me more interesting stories about Ramana Maharshi and animals? Lucy, yes, listen. One day, Maharshi was sitting on a hillside. A snake crawled over his legs. He didn't move nor show any fear. Later, someone asked him what he felt like when the snake crawled over his legs. He replied, cool and soft. Yeah, cool and soft. Then Nitin, my God, I would have cried and run away. Did anyone kill the snakes in the ashram? Asked question. Lucy, Ramana Maharshi never allowed people to kill snakes in his ashram. He said, we have come to their home and we have no right to trouble them. They do not trouble us. Oh, we are nearing our homes. I will continue the story tomorrow. Nitin. Yes, thanks a lot. Who told you all these stories? Lucy. My grandmother knows a lot of stories. She tells us stories every day. Bye. Nitin. That's wonderful. Tell me more tomorrow. See you. Bye. Dear children, now let us know the meaning of the story. Let us study about the summary of the story. When the Nitin asked the question in the previous slide, even the birds, actually the Ramana Maharshi fed the animals. And one more question raised in his mind of the Nitin asked. For that she replied, yes, Ramana Maharshi called the peacocks by making sounds of their cries. Here, cries means how the animals and birds making the sound. The sound of the animals and birds are called cries. How the peacocks are making the sounds, like that, the Ramana Maharshi called with their sounds. Then they would go to him and eat the peanuts, rice, and mangoes from his hands. Now observe how the here the peacock is very near to the Ramana Maharshi in this picture. Peanut means, that is called groundnut. Peanut means groundnut. Another, that is another one is green pea. Green pea, that is another one, that is called batani. This is peanut means groundnut. Then rice. He get the these peacocks get the rice from the Ramana Maharshi's hand. And mangoes. Here, the peacocks eat the peanuts, rice, and mangoes from the Ramana Maharshi's hand. Then Nitin, that's interesting, Lucy. Will you please tell me more interesting stories about Ramana Maharshi and animals? I asked another one question to Lucy. He wanted to learn more things about Ramana Maharshi and animals. For that, Lucy replied to him, yes, listen. I will tell you more things about Ramana Maharshi. One day, Maharshi was sitting on a hillside. One day, Ramana Maharshi was sitting on a hillside. He was lived on Arunachala Hill, that is located in a Tamil Nadu. That is now located in a Tamil Nadu. Here, observe the picture. A snake crawl over his legs. Here, another one picture is here. This is Arunachala Hill. It is located in Tamil Nadu. Then a snake crawled over his legs. Crawling means actually the snakes have a typically swim. Sometimes snakes are swim in the water, climb on the tree, and crawled by bending their spine into serpentine coils. Okay, another one is coil is crawling to move slowly, either by dragging the body along the ground, that is slow moving on the belly, that is called crawling. Crawled over his legs, but over his legs he didn't move nor show any fear. This is very important. He didn't move. Who didn't move? Ramana Maharshi didn't move nor show any fear. Later, someone asked him what he felt like when the snake crawled over his legs. Someone, his disciple, asked a question to Ramana Maharshi. How did you feel when the snake crawled over your legs? He replied, Ramana Maharshi replied to them, cool and soft. Always the body of the snakes are just like a cool and soft. Just he asked, there is no scaring, there is no scare or afraid of he didn't afraid to the snake, and there is no, he didn't move nor show any fear means he didn't afraid or scare, nor don't move, didn't move that time. For that, Nitin, how he exclaimed, my God, I would have cried and run away. If I was there in that situation, I would have cried. I cried for the people and I run away from that place. Did anyone kill the snakes in the ashram? When which snakes crawled over his legs on the Ramana Maharshi asked the question, did anyone kill the snakes in the ashram? For that, Lucy replied to that, Ramana Maharshi never allowed people to kill snakes in his ashram. Never allowed people to kill snakes in his ashram. He always follow the non-violence. He said, we have come to their home. Come to their home means he lived in on a hill station, hill, and forest and hills are the home of the living area of these type of animals and the birds. So we have come to their home, and we have no right to trouble them, no right to give the difficulty to them. They do not trouble us. They do not trouble us. Oh, we are nearing our home. When they are walking on the path, walking on the road, she observed, oh, we are nearing our homes. I will continue the story tomorrow. Tomorrow, I will continue the story like that. Lucy tell to Nitin. Nitin, yes, thanks a lot. Who told you all these stories? I asked another one question because I had a surprise how the stories she learned. Lucy, My grandmother knows a lot of stories. She tells us stories every day by. Yes, in the home, the grandfather and grandmother tells the stories. For that we call the grandmother stories and grandfather stories, like that. Yes, Nitin, that's wonderful. That's really great. You are really great. That's wonderful. Tell me more tomorrow. See you. Bye. Like that, Nitin greets Lucy while they are both leave the place. Now we will move to grammar point. Here some pictures are there. Observe these pictures. Here peacock and the Ramana Maharshi, and here peanuts and rice and mangoes, and here a snake crawled over the Ramana Maharshi's leg. Another one is, this is Arunachala Hill. It is located in Tamil Nadu. Now we will move to grammar points. Match the following. Say some words are there. These words are matched to. These are not matched. Just we match with the answer. What is sage? Is it Lucy and Nitin or the sage? No. Sage means Ramana Maharshi. Ramana Maharshi was a sage. Sage means saint. Saint. Holy man. Saint. Holy man or sage. In Kannada, sadhu, santa, like that. Boys. Who are the boys? Is it Lucy and Nitin? No. Who are the boys? How the Ramana Maharshi called the dogs. Ramana Maharshi called the dogs as boys. Third one also, cow. Who is cow here? Ramana Maharshi called the cow as in the name of Lakshmi. Name of Lakshmi. Lakshmi is the answer. Storyteller. Who is the storyteller? For the Lucy, her grandmother tell all the stories. So here storyteller is grandmother. Fifth one, friends. Who are the friends? Yes, Lucy and Nitin were the friends. Very good. Now we will move to another one grammar point, that is opposites of. Means opposites means antonyms. More, less, or fever. Fever means not in the fever. Fever is the fever, means less. Another one fever is there, fever, that is fever. When we have the high temperature in our body, that is called fever. Okay, this is fever. Then remember, forget. Remember, forget. Always, never. Always, never. First, lost. First, lost. Soft, hard. Near, far. Near, far. So these are the, it tells the distance of the distance, near and far. This is soft and hard. That is the nature of the softness or hardness of the something, some materials. Okay. Then other things are some in that lesson. You should know the present tense and the past tense form of the word. Later I will give the notes to you children. Afterward I will send the notes with PDF. Thank you.